So he's running on the ball now, but he's still catching it standing still. Okay? So we're going to get him moving, because he's no threat still. It's easy to watch the ball, isn't it? Challenge yourself for the next minute, look at off the ball. 95% of our time is spent off the ball. Let's watch off the ball. It's going to be hard. Okay? I'll let you watch the ball, okay, but nobody else.
No.
You can watch the ball. You watch off the ball. Who wants to watch the ball? Because I know you're all going to do it anyway. Okay, my Scottish friend, you watch the ball. The rest of them just watch off the ball. The ruck's over there. I want to see us like this state. Yeah, so when he gets the ball, we're flying onto it. And I might be able to get 2 tips in. Does that make sense? So I want to see like a bit of a practice. So, what did you notice about where people are looking? I know it's difficult because there's no defence. All at the ball. I know it's difficult because we don't have any defenders, but ideally for me is that we get up and there's play happening over here. As I'm reloading back, I'm looking what's in front of me. Where's there a gap? So I would maybe condition the defence so we can exploit different gaps. You know, okay, well here we are, can we play through them? Maybe we narrow the defence up so the space is on the outside. You know, maybe we spread the defence wider so we have to play through them. So how we manipulate the defence, and this is where the decision-making element comes in. We could spend forever giving them a structure and shape, but it's irrelevant really until we start making decisions and we've got pressure in front of us. These guys have done it reasonably well. We'll do one more. Josh, in motion before you get the ball every single time. I really like what you're doing in the middle, it's good. Okay, you and the wingers are doing really well, getting involved. Sam's just like run, I don't know where he came from. He just arrived and now he's running all over the place, which is good. But keep getting in the middle of the park. Yeah, good. Looks a bit different with pressure, doesn't it? Tackle! Yeah. Good depth, well done. See the Tori, is that her name? Brilliant depth there. Really good depth from the 12, which allowed us to play. Tori, great depth, well done. Okay, gave us depth. Can you get a bit deeper? I've never lost a game of unopposed in my life. Undefeated champion of unopposed. But you see here, because you have to figure out depth and things like that. We put 5 defenders in there, and they had to adjust and maybe didn't do it as well as they could have because we're playing so flat, so to get some depth. So how do we create unstructure? I would go into a game now. So I was talking earlier about, you know, if you want to play everything off 10, just play a condition game where everything's got to go through 10 if you're trying to get a bit more width in your game. You know, that's one thing you could do. You know, how do we break this out? I'd probably say just try and play a structure within your game. So you might play a condition game around the breakdown, but see if they can implement their structure within it. So it's a bit more messy, it's a bit more chaotic. Probably, I think, kick, counter-attack and a lot of kick and kick chase games will break it up a fair bit, you know, so we can do that. Yeah, I think any kind of game where you're going from, it's like you're getting this balance between structure and unstructure. Coach's comfort zone is we want to coach structure all the time. We don't need to coach any more structure. They've got a general idea now where they need to go, and that's fine. And then they just have to make better decisions. So I would probably go into like some kind of ruck game, or maybe some of the games we played this morning, like the go forward game or the line break touch. The line break would cause havoc. For me, I would breach to the width would be my philosophy on a line break. So we break the middle and we get tackled. Let's go to the width after that, and that's just an opportunity for them to play. So these are some of the little things that I would look at. But we have to break it up, because otherwise we get lots of little robots now, and I think that's the balance between structure and unstructure. So I would want, you're right, I would want to break this up now. I'd probably want to go back into a game, some sort of game, but they'll probably start, but maybe have a designated 9 and 10 in your games so that they can play. My philosophy around play as well would be everybody's a 9. So if the ball's there, just pick it up and play. Why do we have to slow it down? What do I see in rugby all the time? Scrum halves in a ruck. Slow it down. Slow it down. Don't think that one of...
Just the pick and go so the 9 can get
Yeah, for whatever you think, don't think there's only one person in the team that can pass. We've got 14 other people that could pass the ball from the ground. But we've got to teach them skills if we want to keep the game going. So these are the little things. But yeah, now I would break it up and go into some kind of games. Can we do it? Probably not, because we've got 7 aside. Yeah. But you get the idea. But yeah, I would put conditions around the game. Everyone's got to play off 9 or everyone's got to be off 10, depending on what the tactical thing is that you're trying to work on. You might say 2 phases. One of the good games we've done is 2-4. I call it 2-4-6. So if you've got a full-size field or a field, you're like 2 phases in your own end, and then you got to kick it. And if you're in the middle of the park, you get 4 tackles, and at the far end of the park, you get 6 tackles. You know, so there's like a little game there, which is a bit more like a traditional, say 15 aside kind of version. You might play 15 on 13 or something like that, but 2 phases in your own end, kick, and then they get the counter attack opportunity, and then 4. Once you get to a certain place, you get 4 tackles, and you get 6. Or it might be 3, 6, 9, however many phases you want. But just a good game to get some tactical awareness around field position and things like that.
What's the typical message? We've made a pass to the second receiver. What's the ask of our inside support player typically? Sure. Yeah, we need to support. So the challenge is, what does that look like? And I know we've talked a lot about games and the value of playing games. Yes, that's fantastic, but we have to make sure that we are going after a specific outcome. Okay? Yes, get behind the defense, play through the defense, all wonderful things, but we have to make sure that we're getting to an outcome, and so we do need some of this stuff in here as well. Athletes, listen up for 1 second. So we've got a greenhouse. We've got a greenhouse here, and we've got an orange house here. What often happens, we make this pass from first receiver to second receiver. Can I get 2 out here, please? Any 2? And a ball in. Make the pass. He's going to be the first player at the point of contact after ball carrier, should be. But what often happens is we attack this space. As a support runner, we attack this space. So come on in, you can attack use your footwork to get to the outside, and hold there. But we don't necessarily get into this defender's house. Okay, so go back to your center spot, Rory, defender in the middle. Okay. Yeah, you can stay there. And James, you can back up. Okay. We have to get out of this box here if we're this support player, and we have to get into this defender's house. We're not attacking space. We want to be putting this defender on an island. How are you going to help put him on an island? Yes, footwork as our ball carrier to get out. As soon as you see him start to employ footwork, what are you going to do? Gotta go. Okay, so athletes, that's our ask. Make sure that if you were that support player, get out of this green house and get into that orange house. Everything has to happen in that space. Good? Awesome. See what that looks like. It will be offload only, please. Let's go. Footwork and go. Find him, find him, find him. Yes, great. And go, Josh, go, Josh, go. Good. Sorry. Fine. And go. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Cool. Last wrap. And get into the orange house. Good. Cool. Wonderful. Okay. The other activity, one player is the ball carrier. In this case, it's Josh and it's Connor. Yeah. Perfect. So Josh is our ball carrier. He's going to be in front of Connor. Connor, you're just going to tail behind Josh. Josh is going to meander around. And then as soon as Josh either puts studs in the ground to employ footwork or changes his shape, Connor's going to converge to the ball carrier. So you can slide out as though you were coming from that inside spot. Do you understand what you're up against, Josh? Cool. When you're ready, just jogging around. It's not intense. And go. Good. Okay. Again. And they can do this. They can move around as much as they want. Let's go studs in the ground this time. On your left, on your left. Okay, cool. So that's all we're looking for. Is what are the cues? It doesn't need to be in a high-paced setting necessarily. Okay, the brain responds in slow and fast forward. Doesn't matter. The brain sees the change. Thinks, oh, I got a job to do now. So this doesn't need to be high impact. These guys have been doing a lot of running already. Let's go for a couple more. That's fine. And off we go. Okay. One more defender free to come on out, please. Or one more player free to come on out. What's another thing that will impact our decision to converge to point of contact? Yeah. Proximity to defense. Okay. Free to back up just touch. Okay. Defender's this far away, what are we thinking? We're attacking, probably not this fight that we're picking. Okay? So Connor's gonna do the same thing. Josh is reading proximity to defender or change in shape. Okay, so if Reed is getting close and Josh thinks, oh, Connor's getting into a fight, Josh has to go. And now he's coming. Okay, so again, spread out, just a couple of really low impact reps. Okay. Okay. And off we go. Two things, proximity to defender or that change in shape of our ball carrier. Good? Wonderful. Support players. What do we need from our ball carrier in order for us to go and then do our job as a support player? What do you need to see? Cues. What cue in particular? What's the cue you want to see most? Change in shape. Sure, change in shape. So there were a couple of times there where we knew we were getting in a fight. Everyone on the park knew that there was a collision that was going to happen, but our ball carrier made the decision to be a human battering ram and didn't give our support runners the cues that they need as far as change of shape or footwork to fly into the point of contact. So it might be a half second, but in my mind, that's a pretty damn important half second.
So just be careful, like, where you're going to put where. Like Lucas Rumble that captained the Arrows, I wouldn't play Lucas in the outside channels because he's good on the ball. He's really good at the breakdown. He can manage to wriggle his way out of contact. So just whatever you put in place, make sure it fits the context of your team. So what I'll do is we're going to start with a scrum. We'll start with a scrum over here, like say a 15-metre scrum. I'm just going to look at where we put the forward now. A couple of different ways you can look at it. From an attack perspective, if we had a contact, first we want to attack the transitions, actual in the defence, you know, so between maybe 7, 9, 10 around, or 13 to wing. There's some obvious weaknesses, or the space in by. There's some pretty obvious weaknesses in areas that we can attack. So if we were to come down the narrow channel and say we have a contact around the inside post, I might then look to have our forwards come and carry around the corner from that set piece. So you might have 7 and 8 in the first breakdown. You might have 6 and 5 and 4 coming around to carry. Or if we had a contact around the outside post, I'd probably just go at the backs again. How much in your coaching do you work on ball carrying? I don't see anybody working on it is near enough. Rugby is about invasion and evasion. How often do I'll use the type 5, how often do they get to work on their evasion skills in a one-on-one? Their manipulative skills, be able to, maybe fade off a pass or step or whatever. Because if they can get really good at carrying and stepping in close quarter contact, then we can get fast ball, then we can play the way we want to play. And you might have an attacking philosophy around the speed of the ball. If it's fast, we just play. There's no structure, we just play. If it's medium pace ball, then we've probably got something. And if it's slow ball, we'll probably go back to the short side. So for me, Josh, passing's looking good, mate. But how much of a threat are you at the opposition?
Not very much.
No threat whatsoever, okay? You're sat back in the pocket, you're catching it, and you're passing it stationary. I don't have any concern with you whatsoever. So my challenge to Josh here would be that he has to be in motion when he's getting the ball. When Paul Feeney was a guy who helped us with Canada in 2016. The coaches the Stormers in the Super Rugby now. But he would even just have the second line at the standoff would just run at the line. Take it super flat and run at the line. So we could start to hold defenders to create space for other people. Because standoffs get in this position where they can't be a running threat. What makes Bowden Barrett one of the best standoffs in the world? Is his pace. And you're probably quite athletic. Yeah. Come on, man, I'm trying to pick you up here. Okay. Fast?
More of a run, like hard runner.
Hard runner?
Yeah, not very fast.
Okay, so your challenge, you're not allowed to take the ball stationary again. Okay? Does that make sense? Forwards, you've got to make an extra pass all the time now as well. Because you're a little pod system, you're quite robotic with it. I want to see another pass. You want to mix it up. I've not told them what to do, but they've hit the middle player every single time. For me, as a defender, that's pretty easy. If I see a little pod come in, I know that they're going to pass the middle player. And you'll see teams getting smashed now at the moment doing all this stuff.
It just might look like Rugby then now has to get in a position where he can hit the top of their legs as quick as possible. So we're looking to hit the legs and stop momentum. But Connor's looking to hit over the top of Rugby and try and hit them either side on, or if Rugby kind of and he stands me up, then Connor's going to target the ball and still hit me as hard as he can. And what I don't want here is any real sort of, if Connor's on the ball and I do that, I don't want this happening, because then we tend not to hit them. If we're going to hit, and we're going to transfer the other one. If we're going to hit, we're probably going to hit him here and try and get hold of the sharp edge and then control the ball that way. But we still want to hit him with our shoulders as hard as we can, because the end outcome is we want him to end up spiked back into the ruck here. because then all the forwards that are in front of him have to get up, go back round, reset, go again. So we create slow balls, so then our defence can just slowly start marching forward. Okay? So it depends on how good he is in the tackle. He stands him up, going over the top, hitting the ball, trying to put him on his back, and then try to influence body shape on the floor a little bit. If he gets a really good body shape, so he matches Rugby for height, he gets to here. All I'm doing now is I just need to get in here and try and drive it this way. Okay, so there's not one set way of doing it, but you have to come in and across. You can't stand here like this, because if he stands in, he gets on the outside of Brewery. Here, I'm like, what? I can't hit him. So we have to change the behaviour of that second guy to be pointed in. So if he picks and we've doubled up on the guard, I'm kind of waiting here for the bang. We go in and hit him. So we hit him sideways across. Okay. What we can't do as well is we can't get in front of this guy, but we can't be too far behind. So I basically want my head, outside of my head, to be pointing towards the edge of Brewery's ear. So as he comes here, bang, we move together. If I'm too far back, sometimes this happens to be really cognizant of not getting pinged by the ref. When you're here, Brewery hits him, and I can't get into that. Maybe do an assist to get over the top, but I can't get into that. And you've got to be hyper aggressive here. There's no like, if I hit my head, this doesn't matter. Like, you just got to get in and amongst that as hard as you can. So if she's come in, he gets up to the outside of me. Okay, we have certain policies around how, so you can have, you know, I would go low, she would go high, but basically we want to create a double collision then, to dominate the collision and put them back. If Lydia's just a little here, and I've made an awesome tackle, I've cut him down at the knee straight away, he goes down, and I'm out the tackle, so I'm here. Lydia's next job is to assess, can I get in and influence the ball, or can I get into the speed zone and influence speed? So she's now influencing what's happening with the ball. If she thinks that it's all about, if Josh is coming in here and he stops there, and we're like this, she needs to target the ball, because there's space over the top of the ball. So we talk about space in between the ball and the clearing player. So if there's space there to get into, you get into it and try and fight. If the space starts to close, so Josh comes in, he's pretty quick, he gets there, we'd say that we want to try her, just go past. We want to try her to get to there and stay. And we call this area the speed zone, because on either side of the ball, that's where you generate speed in the ruck. So it's not here with him, it's over the top of the ball, you generate speed or you lose speed. So as a defensive coach, I want her to get into that speed zone and slow it down as much as possible. When we get here, we're going to fight, we're going to stay in, we're going to try and do whatever I can. As soon as I move past it, that's the cue for someone else to come in. So if we're talking about secondary decision making, which we're not going to delve into today, that'll be when I get my hooks past. Okay? But we want to try and get to here if there's an opportunity to win the ball. But if I see Josh has gone back there, I want to target the ball as quick as possible. Okay? And then you've just got to kind of ride it out. You know you're going to get hit. Smashed.
And does the jam stay out?
Yeah, the jam would stay out. The only time the jam would come in, so if Connor's the jam, if I've tackled him, just come a bit closer. If I've tackled him and he's landed right at Connor's feet, so Connor's the jam and he's got right outside me, put him down right here, that's the only time I'd ask him to come in and hunt for the ball. What I don't want is if he's here, you get some players that get really excited when they're on the back row, the worst of it. Okay, if I tackle him here and Connor goes with the ball and he runs in, then we're pretty much screwed on the outside for at least like 2-3 seconds. Okay, because then she's got to go flying round. He might step in as well. He might be really narrow on the outside. We don't really want that. So that's why his decision making has to be bang on. Okay, but we need to give him some pictures to actually fuel that decision making. So we never ask him to come in unless he lands right at your feet here, then you can have a bit of a crack. Okay.